video, I realized some of the things in there could have been worked a little bit better. So I'm bringing you to all of you the Eldritch Sniper Reborn, and this is really how you get the most out of your Eldritch Sniper. So what I mean by that is you're going to be taking 12 levels into Sorcerer because the distance spell meta magic. From there you're going to take 2 levels into Warlock for your Eldritch Spear. And finally, you're going to be taking 6 levels into Barbarian for Eagle Totem, so you can actually see out to your 1,200 foot range. Alright, so all the other fluff stuff, archetypes don't really matter. I usually go with Draconic anyway, because it does give you a little bit more damage. Even though you're not going to be using Firebolt, you're going to be using Eldritch Blast, because it's the best cantrip in the game. From there, again, all the other cantrip options don't really matter as much, but spells sort of matter a little bit, but not too much. Alright, so you have Shield, this is the best reaction in the game, next up there with Hellish Rebuke and Armor of Agathis. False Life, I generally take it anyway, just to give you a little bit more of a cushion, which actually does stack with Fiend Pact Warlock's temporary hit points. Chromatic Orb, don't really need it. You really don't need any spell on this, damaging spell on this besides Eldritch Blast. But if something does get closer, you can, of course, rely on Firebolt, Firebolt for more, elemental damage, because it's spun by your Charisma through Elemental Affinity, if you went Draconic. And of course you have your standard spells, Dark Vision, since this is going human variant, so you can actually get the Spell Sniper feat early because you only have 4 ability score improvements to work with. So you have a lot less feat options, but you can get a lot of coverage and get some hidden damage increase through Eldritch Spear and Repelling Blast. Dimension Door and Greater Invisibility are just staples anyway, because Dimension Door is a great spell for teleporting and getting yourself to safety. Greater Invisibility allows you to, cloak and then still cast spells while you're invisible. Vitriolic Sphere, this spell is great if you're going Black Draconic, because you can actually cast this and actually do some decent acid damage, because it will be buffed by your Charisma, 10 die 4 acid, and 5 die 4 additional damage at the end of their turn if they fail their save. Fireball, just a staple. Lightning Bolt, in case something's immune to fire. Disintegrate, you really don't need that option anyway. All of these options are if you're not running Spell Sniper, but since we are, you can about scrap 90% of the spells from first down to here, and just run solely Eldritch Blast, which is what you're going to be doing anyway. Hence the name Eldritch Sniper. Alright, so what is this build's strength? Well, it's the strength of this build comes in from being able to kill things from afar with taking minimal damage yourself, because you have a 1,200 foot range. That being said, there is the caveat of you are not a full caster, you are a 12th level caster with 2 levels of Warlock, which is kind of in its own camp entirely. So, again, let's go off our thing. Barbarian 6th level, check. Warlock 2nd level, check. You can bring it up to 3rd if you want, but you will have to sacrifice a level of Sorcerer. And 11th level Sorcerer is not terrible. You do have a 2nd, 5th level spell slot, which you would also still get. You'd still have your 2nd meta magic. So taking 2 levels out of Sorcerer and putting those 2 into Warlock are fine as well. And again, you have a lot of other options as well. Personally, I like having a 12th level Sorcerer because it does give you more sorcery points. Granted, you can just sacrifice all your 1st through 5th level spell slots into sorcery points for sniping. I'm not about that, because sorcery points, like Distant Spell, takes up a fair amount of sorcery points. I think it's 1 to 2. I can't remember it completely off the top of my head, but I know it's a decent chunk. And again, just overall, just look at this and just try to find best ways to play it. I will be including this in the description below so you guys can get this if you really want to try it. If your campaign allows you to play a max level character, even better. And again, I wish I could take all the Barbarian and Warlock skills to have some more stuff, but it doesn't really matter. The reason I went human variant is mainly because of the feat. and also so I can take perception, and because of aspect of the beast eagle, I'm no longer at disadvantage if something is obstructing vision, or sort of limiting your vision. Alright, so what is the sort of stat array you want for this? Well, since you are going to be taking levels into Barbarian, and if you're going with Standard Array, you are going to be wanting to put that 13 into your Strength. I went with Standard Array, so I put the 15 into Charisma, with +1 from Human Variant got me up to 16, which is nice, so I used 2 ability score improvements just to get that up. Constitution and Dexterity, I probably should have changed those around, but oh well. I take 2 points out of Con, but I kind of like the stat array we have here. 13 plus 1, I mean 14 Strength is really good in Barbarian. If you're going Totem Warrior, it doesn't really need to put a whole lot of emphasis into Strength. Yes, you still need it, but not as much as if you're going Berserker, Frenzy Barbarian, or Zealot. Zealot's a pretty fun Barbarian path. I wish you could actually make it work with this, but Zealot is all about your rage, much like Frenzy, except Zealot doesn't exhaust you like Frenzy Barbarian would. And again, experience points, of course, 355,000. I'll let you guys come up with a name, personality, traits, etc. I found Hermit worked pretty good with this because, I mean, you can make any background. You can take away Hermit and just go Soldier. Works just fine. And again, this is a very strong build. Like I said earlier, you don't need any spell on this level, really, because you do want Shield. Shield is an amazing spell. But you can almost get away with having none of these cantrips from Blade Ward down, which I feel dirty for having Blade Ward on that list. You have no idea. But again, that's been sort of my redo of the Eldritch Sniper. Let me know if you have any other build suggestions you want to see. I can probably throw it together. But this is one of the more powerful hidden damage builds, and if you are running this and your DM isn't throwing in sniper missions, it really feels frustrating that you're playing a character that can do this one neat thing and you never get to use it. So if you are going to be playing with this in a campaign, bring it to your DM and see what happens. If there's some sniper missions in there, you can do that thing. Alright. Yeah, that's about all I have to say for now, guys. I look forward to making more crazy builds for y'all. Alright, peace.